day 9 of Brown's training camp, but for the first time, they moved indoors into the field house. It was a kind of shorter practice. There were no pads today. It was just helmets. They'll be back in pads on Saturday as they wrap up this 6-day stretch of practices. Mary Kay, we got a very up close look at the quarterbacks today being indoors, and they did a lot of teamwork, whether it was 11 on 11 or 7 on 7. These guys ran a ton of plays and threw the football a lot today.
They did, and they aired it out inside the field house as much as you can inside the field house. And there were some good plays, there were some bad plays. Each one of the quarterbacks threw an interception today. But then at the end, in the 2-minute drill, Deshaun, who was working with the first team, threw a really nice ball to Isaiah Bond for the touchdown in the 2-minute drill. That's what you want to do. You want to end that with a touchdown. And then in Shedeur's 2-minute drill, he threw a short pass over the middle to Raheem Sanders, and then Winston Reed swooped in, punched it out of there, and recovered the ball. So unfortunately for the second group, they couldn't get that done. But I thought there were some nice deeper balls today when they weren't getting picked off. We saw Shedeur threw a nice deep ball to KC. We saw Deshaun throw another deep ball to Isaiah Bond on the sideline. Gage caught a couple of nice deep balls. And so it was a day where, there was kind of something going on in the deeper passing game, and they have to start doing that.
Yeah, and I think Ashley, just overall, it was a very, I guess it was a little bit of everything, right? There was some good, there was some bad. They didn't get a lot of help at times. Other times they did. I mean, Mary Kay mentioned Gage made a nice catch. He also had a drop. Malachi Corley had a drop. It was just it was kind of everything from these quarterbacks and this offense today.
It really was kind of a microcosm of the good and the bad so far that we've seen in camp. And again, they didn't have the pads on today, so take that for what it is, I guess, more than anything. But I did think, and Dan, I think you said the same thing as well, this was Isaiah Bond's best day, I thought, of training camp, like one of the better days we've seen from him since the spring. Both of those guys were looking for him today, and he had chances to make some plays.
Yeah, Mary Kay, I mean, Isaiah had so much momentum coming out of the spring, and I feel like so much of the attention has been on the rookies and sort of what Jerry Jeudy is doing every day. Isaiah sort of hasn't done a lot. And today we saw a lot more Isaiah Bond, even on one of those picks. Deshaun Watson was looking for Isaiah Bond. He ended up overthrowing him, but we did see a lot more number 0 out there today.
Right. And he is their speedy, deep threat. And they really need him to be on point this season because they want to hit those explosives. And they've got other weapons, but he is your go ball receiver. And so they really need him to be out there catching those touchdown passes and the long ones. So it was good to see him get back involved a little bit because KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston have sort of been stealing most of the headlines. Now you're seeing as they start to move towards their starting 11, and we're going to be seeing more and more of this, you will see 3 wides with 3 of those guys, sometimes 4 wides. You're going to start to see the personnel groupings, but all of those starters are going to be in there together. It's time to get the 11 starters working together on this offense, honing it, perfecting it, and getting it ready to go out and try to beat the Jaguars.
Yeah, and that's been one of the benefits, I think, of all of these injuries that have piled up that have sort of taken 2-spotting and put it to the side. And then, of course, indoors, you can't really 2-spot here in their field house. Actually, we have seen a lot of this first team offense. Now they're still trying to figure things out. Who's the left tackle? Who's the right guard? But we have seen these quarterbacks going with the first team get to throw the ball to those rookies, to Jerry Jeudy, to Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, I know. Even when we were talking about this idea that KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston needed to maybe go against these first team DBs a bit more, we haven't talked about that recently because they haven't been 2-spotting. And when they wouldn't be going against those guys, it would be during those 2-spotting periods. So they were down, basically the same number of people again today. A handful of people came back. We know Mason Graham, we saw him back in team drills, and then the 2 centers looked like Parker Brailsford, or no, was it Parker Brailsford or was it Luke? And it was in there again at center. So yeah, just overall, I think the injuries are still very much playing a factor here.
Now, let's spend a little time on that defense because they did have those interceptions. So we probably should talk a little bit about their performance. And of course, Winston Reed had the punch out. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren has started to kind of make a little bit of a push here. He had that pass breakup earlier this week where it looked like he was shot out of a cannon to make the play on a Shedeur Sanders ball. And then, of course, he has the interception today. Mary Kay Denzel Ward also had one of the interceptions. But to see, when we talk so much about these young rookie receivers, right, and how good they've been, but to see the rookie safety Emmanuel McNeil-Warren perform like this week has certainly been a positive.
It really has. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be out there starting from week one. He's really good. He's a ball hawk. He's got great instincts, and he has been showing those this week. Really nice interception today, as you mentioned, the big pass breakup. He's going to pair very nicely with Grant Delpit, who's also been making some really nice plays this week. So I think it's going to be a formidable safety group, no question about it. And I think we're going to see a ton of E-Man.
And he really does, Ashley, just kind of come out of nowhere when you see him make these plays, whether it was that pass breakup, with even this interception today, it was like, oh, there's number 28. He has the football. He really does just kind of come out of nowhere to make these plays.
He does, and I've been talking to some people at Toledo about him, or the former Toledo coaching staff now about him, and they said that this was stuff they saw on his high school tape, that even his ability with that sort of punch out that we know he's so good at, they didn't have to teach him really any of this. He just has a knack for the ball. I think it might be because he did play a lot of receiver growing up. That was the position he thought he was going to play up until he got into high school, and you really are seeing it out there on the field, those tendencies Mary Kay talked about. And I think the other nice thing for this defense is he's kind of the best of both worlds in terms of Grant Delpit. I think plays his best in the box, closer to the line of scrimmage. Ronnie Hickman has that deep safety spot locked up, but E-Man can kind of do both things. I know at Toledo they said they liked him closer to the line of scrimmage because he's such a ferocious tackler, but he really can do whatever they need in this defense.
Okay, we are almost to the finish line of this marathon week, but there is one more practice left. It will be in pads, and we are expecting a very long practice on Saturday. So one more very important day left in this 6 straight day stretch. And of course, we will cover all of it at cleveland.com/Browns.